A drone glides low over a stone village. Terracotta roofs stacked tightly up the hillside. We cut to whitewashed walls shading a lemon tree heavy with fruit. You catch a flash of the blue sea just past the rooftops, and then a heavy wooden door swings open onto a garden thick with olive trees. That's the Italy we're touring today. Every single house on our list comes in under $150,000, and several of them are completely move-in ready. I've saved the absolute strongest property for the very end, so don't click away just yet. The payoff is genuinely worth the wait. We're zooming in now. Country, then region, then street, Italy, down through Lombardy and Umbria, across Puglia and Veneto, into the hill towns and Baroque villages of Sicily. A scattering of small provinces most people can't even point to on a map until this exact moment. And the game today isn't just, what does the house look like? It's, what does life look like for this kind of money? The light coming through the kitchen window, the yard out back, how close you actually are to a bakery, a bus stop, a coastline you can drive to before lunch, a table where you'd actually eat dinner every night for years. These are solid properties, the kind you can actually move into as described, not money pits dressed up for a photo shoot. And I'll flag it clearly every single time one of them needs a bit of work, because that's the whole promise of this channel. No surprises, no salesman spin, just what's actually in the listing. 8 houses, 1 price ceiling, and by the end you're going to have a favorite, maybe 2, and that's exactly the problem I want you to have. According to the listing details we pulled for this roundup, our first stop is a semi-detached house on Strada Provinciale 48 in Santa Margherita di Staffarà, up in the hills of Lombardy's Oltrepo Pavese, and the price stops you cold, under $20,000 described at 19,000 euros. Now I'll be straight with you. This one is the entry rung of the ladder, not the peak. And it won't be the last time today the leader changes. The exterior wow here is more blank canvas than postcard. A solid stone and plaster, semi-detached structure built back in 1950. 1 floor, tucked into a genuinely quiet mountain hamlet where green hills roll right up to the front step, and the nearest sound is probably a rooster. Step inside, according to the listing, and you'll find 5 rooms across a single level. A separate kitchen, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a cellar for storage, 96 square meters built in total. Here's the honest part though. This one is listed as needing restoration with heating currently non-existent and an energy class of G, so this isn't our actually move into tomorrow pick, it's our here's what 19,000 euros buys you as a floor pick, and I'd rather tell you that up front than let you find out later. The deal kicker is simple math, an entire 5-room stone house in the Italian hills for less than a decent used car. And the best part is it sets the bar so low that everything else on this list is about to look incredible by comparison, because right after this, the leader changes fast. Before we get there though, here's the thing nobody puts in the listing description. When a property says needs restoration or lists an energy class of G, that phrase can mean anything from a fresh coat of paint to a full re-roof and rewire, and listings almost never spell out which one you're actually getting. A quick, honest way to read it, check whether heating, plumbing, and roofing are mentioned at all. If they're silent, or flatly say non-existent, budget for those separately, because that's usually where the real cost hides, not in the cosmetics like paint or flooring. Roof inspections in rural Italy typically run a modest flat fee, and it's money well spent before you fall for a pretty photo. Always check documents and fees before you get emotionally attached to a listing, because paperwork tells you more than any drone shot ever will. Okay, snapping back, because now we're climbing, and the next one already costs more but delivers more too. Property number 2 is in Modica, down in the picturesque Piano Sassi area of Sicily's Hyblaean countryside. Panoramic views rolling out over the surrounding hills, and it's listed at 50,000 euros. The exterior wow is that classic, characteristic, independent stone house profile, developed on a single level, and there's a genuinely interesting bonus baked in. According to the listing, a project variant for a 20% expansion has already been submitted and approved, all charges fully settled, plus room for an additional veranda structure of roughly 40 square meters. That's not a small detail. That's paperwork most buyers spend months chasing, already done for you. Inside, approximately 100 square meters, 4 rooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen diner, and a private garden sitting on a 300 square meter plot with parking for 6 cars, which, if you know Italian villages, is basically unheard of. This one's also listed as needing refurbishment, so we're still not calling it turnkey. But the deal kicker is that approved expansion paperwork, because in Italy, pre-approved building permissions on a plot this size are not something you stumble across every day, and it's the kind of thing that can add real months, sometimes years, to a renovation timeline if you had to start from zero. And the best part is, This could become exactly the kind of property that starts as a renovation project and turns into a real income opportunity down the road, according to the listing's own description of its potential for a small accommodation setup. Now here's where the leader changes for real, and the tempo shifts hard. Property number 3 sits right in the Baroque historic center of Palazzo Acrede, a UNESCO World Heritage Village in southeastern Sicily, and it's €50,000. Same price tag as the last one, completely different world. The exterior wow is the setting itself. Ancient Baroque stone streets, a village built for wandering, and free space above the property for future privacy and customization. Step inside, and the listing describes a large double bedroom enhanced by an exposed stone wall and vaulted arches, a warm-equipped living area, and a bright Eden kitchen with a panoramic window looking straight out over the village rooftops. Here's the phrase we've been building toward. This one is described as renovated, single level, sold fully furnished, and ready to move into immediately. This is a solid property you could actually move into with no major renovations required, according to the listing, and that phrase alone puts it in a completely different category than the last two. No waiting on a permit, no waiting on a contractor's schedule. The deal kicker, sold complete with furniture in a UNESCO village for the price of a used sedan back home. And the best part is this isn't a museum, it's real life. Someone's actual front door in one of Sicily's most photographed towns, with the listing itself noting excellent prospects for tourism income if you ever wanted to rent it out down the line. Quick regional flavor before we move on. This stretch of southeastern Sicily runs mild almost year-round. The coast is a short drive from most of these inland towns. The roads connecting the villages are easy, and the local food scene alone is worth the plane ticket on its own. Olive oil and almonds and fish straight off the boats. Back to the deals. Property number 4 is a farmhouse on Viale Pandolfelli in the Monte Grosso Boschetto countryside near Andria in Puglia, listed at €60,000. Condition here is described as excellent, refurbished, no restoration guesswork required. No reading between the lines. It's compact, 35 square meters, 1 room, 1 bathroom, kitchen nook, and a private garden all on the ground floor. This is your smallest footprint on the list, but it's the kind of tidy, done deal that lets you land in Puglia without lifting a single hammer or opening a single toolbox. The deal kicker is the word refurbished itself. Paired with that private garden, a genuine no major renovation situation in one of Italy's sunniest regions where the sun alone might be worth the price of admission. And the best part is, a smaller property like this means lower costs across the board from heating bills to general upkeep, which matters just as much as the sticker price once you're actually living there year-round. But don't get comfortable because the next one flips the script entirely. The same easy move in energy, considerably more space. Quick flavor snack before we jump regions. Puglia's flat, sun-drenched countryside is famous for its trulli and its olive groves. The airports at Bari and Brindisi make it easy to get in and out, and the pace of life out here is slower than almost anywhere else in Italy, which is exactly why so many people end up staying longer than they planned. Now, property number 5 takes us up to Papozze in the Veneto countryside on Via Giuseppe di Vittorio, listed at €70,000. The exterior wow is a detached house entirely on one level, on a quiet, residents-only street, described as convenient to public transportation, schools, shops, and all major amenities without feeling cut off from anything. According to the listing, it's undergone several improvements over the years and is described as ready to move into immediately, with comfortable, well-maintained rooms throughout. Inside, an entrance hall, a dining room with kitchen, a living room, a large double bedroom, a single bedroom, and a bathroom with a window and shower, plus a cellar and laundry room tucked down the corridor. Outside, a fully fenced private garden with trees and shrubs, the kind of space you can actually picture a dog running around in. This is another one you could actually move into. Solid, sold, furnished with accessories. No major renovations mentioned anywhere. Independent heating already in place with radiators ready to go. The deal kicker is that residents-only street. Real privacy, real quiet, minutes from town amenities. Without the isolation you sometimes get out in the deep countryside. And the best part is, because it's sold furnished and accessorized, what you see according to the listing is genuinely close to what you'd actually be living in from day one. No long shopping list required. No waiting on a furniture delivery before you can actually settle in. Property number 6 pulls us into the hills between Terni and Spoleto in Umbria on the Strada del Traversone, listed at €80,000. And this is where the postcard really hits hardest. Olive groves, fruit trees, a small wooded patch of land, all wrapped around a ground floor home with a large surrounding terrace connecting the house directly to the property. Condition is described as good, livable, partially furnished, not a full renovation project, but not turnkey furnished either. Sitting comfortably in that actually move into zone with maybe some light cosmetic touches along the way, nothing structural. Inside, 3 rooms, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen nook, a private garden, and a cellar for whatever you'd rather not keep in the house. The deal kicker here is the land itself. The described olive groves and fruit trees turn a modest house into a small working countryside retreat. Ideal, according to the listing, for anyone wanting distance from the noise of a city without losing access to it entirely. And the best part is, this is the kind of setting where the value isn't just the square meters inside, it's the whole hillside around it. The kind of view you can't put a number on, the kind that makes visiting friends go quiet for a second before they say anything at all. Best is still ahead though, because the next one is where this list stops being a ladder and starts being a flex. And before we get there, a fast fact snack out of Umbria. This is the green heart of Italy, no coastline of its own, but Rome is a manageable drive. Spoleto has its own festival scene every summer, and the hill towns up here stay noticeably cooler in August than the coast does, which is worth remembering if you've ever suffered through a Sicilian summer. Snapping back, because property number 7 is Casa Lulu, a country house in Busseto Palizzolo, near Trapani in Sicily, listed at €89,500. And this is where the leader changes hard, maybe for good. The exterior, wow, a fully renovated stone country house, described as renovated in 2006. Sitting on a 510 square meter lot with an approximately 350 square meter private garden dotted with lemon and orange trees, you'll genuinely be picking fruit from on your way to the car. Inside, 90 square meters flow through a combined kitchen and living space, 2 proper bedrooms, 2 proper bathrooms, and a dedicated storage and laundry room. This is a solid property. Genuinely turnkey, no major renovations needed, according to the listing itself, start to finish. Utilities are described as solid too. A city water connection backed by a cistern, a gas boiler, individual inverter air conditioning units for heating and cooling, and city gas already available at the street for whenever you're ready to connect it. The deal kicker, though, is the location. The listing describes it as 1 minute to shops, 2 minutes to a bus stop and a gym, 5 minutes to a school, 20 minutes to the sea, 25 to a hospital, and just over half an hour to Trapani Airport, with Palermo's airport under an hour away too, which for a village property is remarkable. And the best part is, it comes with a certificate of habitability included, which according to the listing means the paperwork side of things is already handled for you before you even ask. It's not a museum, it's real life. Morning coffee, a lemon off your own tree, the butcher down the road who already knows your order before you say it. Now, the very last one, and I told you I saved the strongest for the end. Property number 8 is a country house in San Vito dei Normanni in Puglia's Brindisi province, listed at €123,000, the highest price on today's list, and also arguably the most loaded with extras of anything we've looked at yet. The exterior wow starts with the numbers, 124 square meters total, 63 inside and 61 in outdoor living space, described as habitable and close to town. Inside, an open living and kitchen space, a bedroom, a bathroom, and a storage room with air conditioning throughout, a fireplace, and a pellet stove for the cooler months so you're never choosing between the two. Outside, a covered veranda, an outdoor shower, a paved yard, private parking, and an artesian well with a cistern and irrigation system already installed and working. Not promised, working. The land itself, fenced, covers about 1,000 square meters planted with olive, lemon, and other fruit trees. And it's been kept up too, with the roof insulation redone and the well pump replaced back in 2023 according to the listing, so the maintenance is already someone else's finished project. It also sits in an inhabited area with street lamps and easy access from a paved road, which sounds small until you've dealt with a countryside property that turns into a mud track every time it rains. And here's the deal kicker that seals it. The price includes the furniture, the appliances, even the bicycles and the steam cleaner, according to the listing, so what you're actually buying is closer to a complete life than an empty shell waiting to be filled with your savings. This is a solid property, genuinely move-in ready as described. And the best part is, it's 4 kilometers from town, 12 from the sea, close to both Ostuni and Carovigno. Proof that you can get land, fruit trees, a fully fitted kitchen, and coastal access in the same package without breaking that $150,000 ceiling we set at the very start of this video. So here's the fast wrap. No long analysis, just the pics. If you want village life with a certificate of habitability already handled for you, Casa Lulu in Busseto Palizzolo is your best turnkey option, full stop. If land, fruit trees, and a fully equipped countryside setup matter most to you, San Vito dei Normanni wins on space and extras, hands down. If a UNESCO backdrop and furnished ready-now living is the dream, Palazzolo Acrede is genuinely hard to beat at this price, and it's the closest thing on this list to a house you could fly in and unlock the door to tomorrow. And if you just want the lowest possible entry point to say you own something in Italy, that first listing in Santa Margherita di Staffarà is still sitting there at 19,000 euros, waiting for someone patient enough to take it on and put in the work themselves. 8 houses, 8 completely different versions of the same dream, and honestly, that's the real takeaway here. Under $150,000 in Italy doesn't mean one type of house. It means UNESCO villages and olive groves and coastal shortcuts and everything in between, depending on how much work you're willing to put in yourself and how soon you actually want the keys in your hand. Prices reflect the moment we selected them, and listings move fast. So if one of these actually caught your eye, don't sit on it too long thinking it over. Tell me straight, no overthinking it. Village life, countryside land, or coastal access, which one wins for you?